Here's the Osee Megamon. I think it's called Megamon, but this is their 15-inch monitor from Osee. I just got it and I had it on a production. Yeah, it's called Megamon 15 right there. So I had this on a commercial production, a job, and I discovered that this is a terrible monitor. I thought this was going to be a budget monitor that was usable, that was the cheapest of the best that you could have on a production. And it is cheap compared to other monitors that are like this. And I'm posting this video as a rant to maybe Osee or somebody in the comments can help me out here and show me what I'm doing wrong. So here is an R5. I'm gonna bring into frame, and then I'm gonna turn on the monitor. There's two switches. There's a power switch here, and then you have to go around to the front panel and turn that on. And you see on the camera here, it says it's connected. So I'm just waiting it to show up here. And look at that, all green. I didn't do anything, I just turned the monitor on. There's no other settings it's on. It just turns on all green. So what I first figured out was that you have to set your camera, the R5, on 1080 out with the HDMI. So I did that. So let me do that now. Let me go to the monitor here. I'll go to the HDMI resolution, select that, and it's normally on auto, but now I'm going to turn it on 1080p, select OK, turn this off, turn the camera off. I'm going to shut the monitor off completely. I'm going to unplug from the back of the monitor, unplug that cable, HDMI cable. I'm going to plug the HDMI cable back in. I'm going to turn on the back of the monitor. And this time I'll turn on the monitor first. Monitor's on, saying no signal. Now I'll turn on the camera. Hit OK. There you go. Now it's fine. See that process that I just did? This happened multiple times that I was plugging in the Canon R5 into this monitor. It would show up green like that, and I had no explanation other than doing those troubleshooting, and it still happens. So here's another problem. I have it on, going in, trying to navigate this monitor here. Hit OK. Now I'm going to go to the LUTs. Right now it's on, let's turn this, here's how you find the LUTs on this monitor here. This is the controls, the management, which I don't like at all. So to get to the LUTs, you go to here, and then there's preset LUTs that come with the monitor, that are shipped with the monitor. I'll zoom out a little bit. So these are some of the presets, and they're very common presets for different LUTs, different cameras. And here's the Canon ones. So there's C-Log1, C-Log2. These are Rec 709 LUTs. And then there's the C-Log3. So I have the Canon here, R5, shooting C-Log3. So I'll enable that, hit OK. And then I have this set now to get the LUT. So get out of this. So now what you're seeing here is the Canon R5, which does not output through the HDMI. The Canon R5 and I think the C70, unless there been a firmware update, when you go out with the HDMI, you can't output a LUT. You have to have your monitor have a LUT, or you have to have another secondary, maybe like an Atomos that has an in and out with that does that LUT and then sends it back out. The higher end professional monitors should have a way to put in LUTs. This one does. It has a built-in Canon LUT, but I'm looking at this screen and it's hard to tell on this camera. But this screen is not accurate to what the footage is. So if I were to record and then take this footage, put on a 709 C-Log3 LUT on there, it does not look like this. There's some green casting. This monitor doesn't look like it's been color calibrated out of the box. One thing you could do is just go straight or disable the LUT. So I'm going to go now to here, and I'm going to turn off the LUT. Turn off the LUT. Hit OK. So now this is what it looks like flat. This is C-Log3 straight out of the R5. The R5, this screen, you can do a LUT on the LCD screen, so you can see it for reference. But here you can't. And this is how I ended up shooting, because there was no way, I couldn't trust the LUT that was built in. And the worst part, and this is where, if you know a solution, I looked through the manual. I read every page of this manual that has to do with LUTs. Right here is a USB input where you're supposed to put in a thumb drive or maybe a hard drive, and then you could load LUTs. But I wasn't able to do that. When I went through the process, I wasn't able to load any LUTs at all. It wouldn't even read my thumb drive, and I formatted it in multiple ways. I formatted it for Windows, I formatted it for Mac. I did different things to try to get it to read, and it just doesn't read. So does Osee sell their own thumb drive that is already formatted to this monitor? What is going on? Why can I not load my own LUTs easily? And why are there no instructions on the Osee website or on any of their social media? There's no instructions on how to load a LUT onto their monitors. Everyone just says you can do it, but they don't show you how to do it. And they don't show you any troubleshooting if yours doesn't work. So I have a big problem with this Osee monitor, this Megamon. I wonder if the other monitors are like this. But with this combination here with the R5 and this monitor, I think it's terrible. It really caused a lot of problems for me on set, and I should have known better. I should have bought a reputable brand like a Small HD or an Atomos, even though it costs 2 to 3 times as much as this monitor. Going on set a paid gig with this quality of image, it's not worth the savings of buying a cheap monitor. I can't return this anymore. I wonder if I got a lemon. Osee, since they're based in Asia or maybe China, I forget where they're based out of, but they have terrible customer service. I have no way of reaching them. I tried to, they haven't responded. There's nothing really I could do, so I regret purchasing this Osee monitor unless there's a firmware update that fixes all this, or somebody gets back to me from Osee saying what I did wrong, or maybe somebody in the comment section of this video can explain what happened. But right now, I don't recommend anyone buy this Osee, at least the bigger monitors. I have their smaller on-camera monitors. For example, this is their smallest one. This one's only $125. This one's fine. I haven't loaded a LUT on here, and I bet it's going to be difficult to load a LUT on here with the SD card. I thought this was a fine monitor just for just seeing the framing. I'm not really looking at the colors when it comes to this monitor, on-camera monitor. But for this one, it's important because this is what the client sees, and it's garbage. I can't trust it at all. So this is a highly negative review, real world usage of this monitor. I don't know what everyone else who's reviewing these monitors, I don't know if they've also tried to load their own LUTs, or they're happy with the image, or maybe they're not using a Canon R5. Maybe they're using other cinema cameras that don't have these issues. But to me, this is a problem, because this is what I bought this monitor for. I can't return it, can't get my money back. I'm kind of pissed.